intentionally firing on civilians or
Right.
children could be a war crime.
Right.
Do you believe that was deliberate? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Because, I mean, pretty much happened in front of me like that.
Is it possible it was a mistake?
How come? If it's mistake from, like, one part, what about the others? Civilian just walking. 2 women just walking by. 1 boy. Come on, like, you know, there's something, like, wrong about it.
Face the Nation even admitting they couldn't independently verify any of this woman's claims, of course. And this all comes as the UN has sliced its estimated number of women and children killed in Gaza by half because, as we know, the UN hates Israel as much as anyone else, and they've been forced to retract their numbers because they get them from Hamas. On May 6th, the UN had published data showing that 9,500 women and nearly 15,000 kids were killed by Israeli forces. 2 days later, on May 8th, the UN then published figures showing it was only 4,900 women and 7,700 kids. And let's remind you that women and children dying is a terrible thing, but Hamas literally holds these people up as human shields. And they try to figure out a way to get as many of those women and children killed as possible because that's their propaganda war. That's how they get the whole world to hate Israel, and that's the whole point of all this. And they don't care how many of their women and kids get killed in that process. The more, the better. You don't see CBS reporting on that, though. You just have this little Hamas propagandist out there saying that the IDF are slaughtering innocent people. Blaming the correction, I should say, on the fog of war is what the UN said there. Morgan Ortagus joins us now, former spokeswoman for the U.S. State Department. I just want to start with the fact that the narrative has shifted so much, that the numbers are going down, the official numbers are going down, and we still get this propaganda.
So first of all, let me say, anytime, anywhere in the world, innocent women, children, or civilians are killed, that is something that the United States takes very seriously, and Israel takes it very seriously. And you know what happens in a democratic country, in a country with rule of law, with the independent judicial system that Israel has? They will investigate. They will punish people, just like we do in the United States. We have our own process in the military. If you do not follow the rules of combat, if you do not follow the orders that are laid out in front of you, then there is a judicial process through the military in which you will be reprimanded, prosecuted. They have the same system in Israel. What system do they have in the West Bank or in Gaza? None, because the whole point of their system is to specifically to terrorize. And by terrorizing, they want to make innocent civilians, they want children, they want women, they want people to be afraid for their lives. That's why Hamas wants to live to fight another day. That's why they don't want to go into Rafah, because they know that they have the chance of killing Sinwar, and who's the head of Hamas, and ending these battalions in Rafah. So, you know, whenever civilian casualties, God forbid, this happens in war. I remember just a few years ago, whenever we killed a man bringing water jugs home to his family in Afghanistan, because we were trying to get back at ISIS. And we also killed a whole family, another innocent family of civilians in the fog of war. We did not intend to do that, but children died as a result of the Biden DOD, of their actions, of our military's actions. So what happens? It's supposedly investigated, although I would say we never heard the outcome of the investigation. We never know. We never have been told who's been fired or reprimanded from Biden's national security team for what happened in Afghanistan. But the point is that Israel will obviously abide by the rule of law. There will be military justice for any civilians that were intentionally harmed.
They'll work incredibly hard to avoid tragedies like this from happening. And at the end of the day, what is the answer, I think, from CBS and from the Biden administration is, let's just stop fighting this war because Hamas is killing too many of its own innocent people in the process of fighting this war.